Do you know if the Sana'a manuscript agrees with today's text?
Sorry?
Do you know if the Quranic text found in Sana'a manuscript agrees with any version of Quran today?
I mean, I'm not sure. I did not explore that.
Does not. Do you know if Sana'a manuscript is complete? Isn't.
He doesn't know what it is.
None. Please listen. None.
He doesn't know what it is.
Please stay quiet. You don't know either. You do. I'm sure if I ask you a question, you'll run away. Please stay quiet. Listen to me. Listen to me, please. Sana's. I'll give you a few names of early manuscripts. Birmingham manuscript. You know this. Parisian Metropolitanus. Yeah. The version that is held by Francois de Roche. Sana'a manuscript. Topkapi manuscript. A number of Quranic manuscripts, early manuscripts. Do you know if any of them is complete? None is complete. None.
How can you prove?
One second. Excuse me, just 1 second. Have you ever studied anything?
I have studied, yeah.
You have.
Yeah.
Did you listen to the names of the manuscripts?
I did what you said.
Give me name of one manuscript.
No, I don't know.
No, give me name of one manuscript.
What do you want to say?
Listen.
Give me
Listen. Don't panic. Listen. Give me name of one manuscript. I mentioned 4. Give me one name.
Okay, ask him.
No, you tell me. You obviously went to level 2 question without even listening to level.
Okay, go ahead. Sorry.
Apologize.
Okay.
You should apologize 5 times already.
5 times I will apologize.
Thank you very much. Now, time to listen. Now, time to listen. Don't commit disturbance. Yeah. None of the early Quranic manuscripts is complete. None of them is. Number 1. Do you know how many decades it takes before you arrive at the first complete Quranic manuscript? Several decades. Almost a century and more for the first complete manuscript. Which version of Islam do you follow? One second.
I'm Sunni.
You're Sunni Islam.
In the history of Quranic manuscripts, the discovery of the Sana'a manuscript stands out as one of the most significant pieces of evidence that challenges traditional Islamic claims. Unearthed in 1972 at the Great Mosque of Sana'a in Yemen, it consists of thousands of parchment fragments. What makes it remarkable is that it is a palimpsest. The lower layer of text, the scriptio inferior, reveals readings that differ from the standard Uthmanic text, while the upper layer, the scriptio superior, is much closer to the version used by Muslims today. The variations in the lower text, whether in wording, verse order, or missing phrases, demonstrate that the Quran went through a process of editing and standardization rather than being delivered once and preserved in a perfectly complete form, as Islamic tradition asserts. This is why the question of whether the Sana'a manuscript is identical to the modern Quran cannot be answered with a simple yes, because the evidence shows it is not. At the same time, the Birmingham manuscript, preserved at the University of Birmingham, is often brought up in debates. Radiocarbon testing places the parchment between 568 and 645 AD, which means it comes from a period very close to the lifetime of Muhammad, who lived from 570 to 632. Yet it is crucial to note that this manuscript contains only a few fragments from Surah Al-Kahf, Maryam, and Taha. It is not a complete codex, and therefore cannot serve as proof that the entire Quran had already been compiled during Muhammad's lifetime. What it does show is that efforts to write down parts of the Quran were already underway in the earliest period. The pressing question in scholarly debates is whether a complete Quranic manuscript exists from the earliest centuries. The academic answer is no. There is not a single complete Quran codex from the 7th century. What we have are only fragments: the Sana'a manuscript, the Birmingham fragments, holdings in Paris, the Topkapi manuscript in Istanbul, and the Samarkand manuscript in Tashkent. Fully complete Quranic codices only appear several centuries later, around the 9th century, nearly 200 years after Muhammad's death. This stands in sharp contrast to the Islamic claim that the Quran has remained unchanged from the very beginning. When compared to the Christian tradition, the difference is striking. The New Testament rests on a much stronger manuscript foundation. The fragment of John's Gospel, known as P52, dates to around 125 AD, only a few decades after the Gospel was written. Beyond that, there are hundreds of complete New Testament manuscripts that date to before the 5th century. In other words, the transmission of the Bible is far more thoroughly documented than that of the Quran, whose complete manuscripts only appear centuries after Muhammad's death.
Do you know of this gentleman called Uthman?
Yes.
Your imaginary Uthman, the third caliph. Imaginary Uthman. Do you know Uthman is supposed to have standardized the Quranic text?
Okay.
He is supposed to have burnt all previous non-standard versions and supposed to have provided a standard version of the Quran. Do you know if anywhere Uthmanic mushafs exist?
Not sure.
No, it doesn't. Nowhere in the world.
Let me just say something.
No, but let me finish this and then I'll allow you to say. In other words, the entire claim that the Quran has been preserved is a cock and bull story. Do you know where Sana'a manuscript was acquired from? It was acquired from a loft in a mosque where the mosque authorities found it and they didn't even know what it was. Could you imagine this? Muslims who have apparently memorized the Quran come across a manuscript of the Quran, which is one of the earliest manuscripts. They try to read, they don't even know it is Quran. They have to call a Western scholar to go fetch the discarded manuscript from the loft.
Where did you get this
Listen,
version?
excuse me, sir. What did I say to you earlier?
Sorry.
How old are you, sir?
Okay.
How old are you, sir?
It doesn't matter.
No, it does matter. Because you might have very little time left. I want you to learn at least now. No, this is
Okay,
serious
I'm
stuff.
learning. I'm trying to
This
learn,
is
yeah.
serious stuff.
Okay, go ahead.
You've clearly spent too long
Yeah.
not even knowing the basics,
Okay.
but learning to disturb.
Okay.
Never a good idea.
Very good.
Too much masjid has been going on. Too much masjid.
What's that?
You know where you go to do your bum exercise. Too much of it has been going on.
fine.
To an extent you haven't learned to listen.
So you're Hindu?
Irrelevant. Are you listening to me right now? Please don't panic.
Yeah.
Please.
Because
No.
you're saying, please, I'm
No.
not
Please
irrelevant.
listen. Please listen. Excuse me, sir.
I'm not-
Excuse me, sir. No, look.
Go ahead.
I am talking about your text, about which you haven't got a clue. Instead of learning something new, at least now,
But
you're
you're not saying correct.
Sana'a manuscript. Where was Sana'a manuscript found?
See, don't tell me it's Sana'a manuscript. Just go. Do you know the Quran? Have you read it?
You know Sana'a manuscript? You know it.
doesn't
yeah?
know what Sana'a
No, he knows. He
I don't
mentioned.
want to claim something.
But you mentioned the name Sana'a manuscript, right? Listen, excuse me, sir. Whoa.
I've heard of it multiple times.
He knows at least the name. Do you at least know the name Sana'a
I
manuscript?
don't know that.
Yeah, if you don't know, learn. Look at him. No, listen, look at him. Look at. Wow. Okay, if you're not a Muslim, that's fine. Then stay away, please. Thank you.
For the Birmingham manuscript, yeah. Doesn't it contain every single page and it's in line with,
Every single page of what?
doesn't it include every single page
Of what?
of what because look,
Of what? Please finish.
what
Of.
we've memorized. It's,
Do you know how many pages are there in the Birmingham manuscript?
no, I'm not.
Do you know how many pages? Birmingham manuscript is the earliest Quranic fragment that has been found till date. Till date, in the entire human history, the earliest Quranic manuscript which has been found so far is what is called Birmingham manuscript. It's in Birmingham, University of Birmingham, maintained there. And the gentleman asks me, doesn't the Birmingham manuscript contain all the pages? And I'm asking him, how many pages does the Birmingham manuscript have? You don't know. Can I tell you the answer? 4 pages. Can your Quran be written in 4 pages? You can't be, clearly. It only has a couple of different chapters, nothing more. Do you know the dating of the Birmingham manuscript? The Birmingham manuscript has been carbon dated.
Can I ask a question?
No, please listen once. Don't, please. I'm trying to have an intelligent conversation.
Those
Please.
four
Please listen.
chapters, are they the same what's written in the Quran?
No, it isn't.
So it's
Please.
a different chapter. So that is not Quran.
Are you listening right now?
Yeah, I'm listening.
It
Are
is.
you listening to me?
I've listened.
Okay, so
Please wait,
all
please.
4 chapters the
Wow. Calm. Yeah, you see, he can't answer. I'm not looking for your acknowledgement, sir. Please. I don't know what goes. Birmingham manuscript has surahs from the Quran, but doesn't agree entirely with today's Quran. Doesn't.
so
Maybe
you
now
mean-
he is listening.
so you mean
Okay.
it's a
Now.
different version of Quran.
Yeah, absolutely.
Based on what? I mean, Quran, you're saying it's a different version.
What's
It's not
happening
Quran.
with him?
Whether
Is he your
it's
elder?
the Quran or it's
Is he
the
from your
Quran.
same masjid? Yeah. If any time he comes near you, stay away. Keep distance.
The Birmingham manuscript is often celebrated as a point of pride, presented as proof that the Quran existed in its entirety from the earliest days of Islam. Yet, when examined more carefully, this manuscript cannot serve as a solid foundation for the claim that the Quran has never changed. The reason is simple. The manuscript consists of only 4 parchment leaves containing small portions of Surah Al-Kahf, Maryam, and Taha. 4 pages cannot possibly represent the whole Quran, let alone prove that the complete text in the 7th century was identical to the Quran Muslims hold today. It is like finding a torn page from a large book. That fragment proves the book existed, but it cannot guarantee that the entire content matches the modern edition. Radiocarbon testing places the parchment between 568 and 645 AD, a range close to the lifetime of Muhammad. But what must be remembered is that radiocarbon dating measures the age of the parchment itself, not the ink written upon it. The animal skin could have been prepared earlier and only used for writing years later. So, while the dating overlaps with Muhammad's era, there is no certainty that the text was actually written during his lifetime. Looking at the broader manuscript tradition, there is no complete Quran codex that can be traced back to the 7th century. What survives are only scattered fragments: the Sana'a manuscript in Yemen, the Birmingham fragments, pieces in Paris, and later copies preserved in Topkapi and Samarkand. Fully complete Quranic codices only emerge about 2 centuries later, around the 9th century. This reality stands in stark contrast to the Islamic claim that the Quran was whole and perfectly preserved from the very beginning. When compared to the Christian tradition, the contrast is striking. The New Testament possesses a much richer and more complete manuscript record. The famous P52 fragment of the Gospel of John is indeed just a single page, but it is supported by hundreds of other manuscripts from the early centuries. Together, these allow scholars to reconstruct the text with remarkable certainty. In the case of the Quran, however, the evidence is extremely limited. The gap to complete manuscripts is far greater, and early witnesses such as the Sana'a manuscript reveal variations that cannot be ignored. This is why the Birmingham manuscript with its 4 leaves cannot be considered strong proof that the Quran has been preserved unchanged. At best, it shows that parts of the text were already in circulation in the early period. But it is far from enough to support the claim that the entire Quran was complete and identical to today's version. When combined with other evidence, especially Sana'a with its notable variants, the historical picture that emerges is not one of flawless transmission, but of an evolving text undergoing processes of editing and standardization.